This is my overnight flipping guide. In real time, I'm going to be showing you how I would go through and find flips to set in overnight. In the Grand Exchange, you have 8 slots right here to buy items with, and I've come up with a list of random items I thought of that I'm going to use in this video to try to flip overnight. So here are the items: cannonballs, occult necklaces, Zulrah scales, ether, dragon boots, black chins, flared trousers, dragon crossbows. These are random items I just thought of before the video. Now we're going to use a Grand Exchange tracker. You can use whatever type of tool you want. I use O7.GG. If you want to check them out, there'll be a link in the description. All right, so I'm going to type in my items on my Grand Exchange tracker, get some more data about it, because I need to know what prices I'm wanting to buy and sell for. So we're going to go to the first item, cannonballs right here. All right, so we're looking at cannonballs. I like to go out to the 1-day graph. I would also make sure the items you're picking, if you look at like an all-time graph, make sure they're just not like at an all-time crazy peak. And then as long as it's not something like this, you're probably going to be mostly safe on the flip. So we're going to go to 1 day right here, and we're going to see all of the low points where they are selling at and all of the high points where they are buying at. And we just want to try to find one of these low points, not a huge outlier. So I wouldn't choose this right here where it says 200 GP. I would choose a point somewhere in here that it's most likely going to hit again. So we're going to take 204 GP. That can be our buy price. And then on the next day, we're going to relook at the graph of the live price, but we're going to hope to be able to sell it for something like 220 GP. So you got my two prices right there. You also need to account for GE tax. There's now a 2% tax on everything. So if you were to scroll down right here, it will show you the tax you will be charged right here. So I'm going to lose 4 GP. So my margin needs to be more than 4 GP. It is. So we're going to be fine on profit. So if you were to take a calculator, for example, if we take 220 minus 208, because we added the 4 extra GP for tax, it's going to give us 12 GP per cannonball we flip, and you can flip 11,000 in an hour. I'm sorry, in a 4-hour period. That'd be 132K per flip, and we're going to try to flip that multiple times overnight. All right, so let's go into the Grand Exchange. Cannonballs. We said we were going to buy for 204 each. Keep that up. I'm going to try to get the maximum amount of buy limits I can between now and when I come back to it later. So to just be lazy, I'm going to buy 110K, and we're going to set that overnight. All right, moving on to the next flip. We're going to go in on occult necklaces. So we're going to type in occult to the GE, and now we're going to look at the prices. Looking at a occult necklace, I'm going to back out to the 1-day graph, and we're going to do our little math again. The price is steadily going up, which can be good for me. I'm going to hope to buy at probably this 450K price, and hopefully the next day I'll sell for around 480-ish. So we're going at 450, hoping to sell for 480K. Maybe you can go a little lower, maybe like, yeah, that's fine. And just to double check, the tax is going to be about 10K, and so we may make 20K per occult necklace. So we're going to go ahead and throw those into the GE. We're going for 450K. You only can buy 8 per hour, so we're going to just throw in 32 of those and call it a day. And actually, I've already bought most of my cannonballs. The next item on the list is going to be Zulrah scales. Looking at Zulrah scales, we're going to back out to 1 day right here. And we are going to go with the price of 235 GP, I think. And then we're going to hope for a sell price of 244, which is actually a pretty nice margin on Zulrah scales, since you can buy 30,000 per hour, and there's a 4 GP tax right there. We're gonna go ahead and throw these in, and we're gonna toss 120K in the buy offer right there. Moving on to the next item, we're going in on ether. We're gonna back it out to 1 day right here. Ether is a very stable and steady item, so we are going to go for a low point here of 172. Every GP matters when you're flipping something with such high trade volume and little margins. And then we're going to hope for 177, maybe even 178 on the trade, and then there is a 3 GP tax on this. Go ahead, throw that into the Grand Exchange. The next item is going to be dragon boots. Backing it up to 1 day, you can see a point right here that I like, 189k 800 GP, and we're gonna hope to sell somewhere around here at the 199 to 30. That is about a 10k margin right now, and there is a 3.8k tax on dragon boots, so decent margins there. Go ahead and throw dragon boots in. There's a trade limit of 70. We're just going to throw in 70 in total right here. It's getting low on GP, and we're moving on to the next item. The next item is going to be black chins right here. Going to 1 day, it's good margins right here, and this is an item that gets bot dumped, so we might be a little risky with it. We're going to go down to, we're going to take this outlier and just see what happens. 7292. Let's call it 7280 then, and then we're going to hope to sell at 2950, and the GE tax on this item is 57 GP, so if we do get any, it's going to be big margins there. For this item, we're just going to go through, we're going to dump a full buy limit of bats, a full buy limit of chins, and then we're moving on to our last two items, which are going to be flared trousers and dragon crossbow. With flared trousers, we're going to go for a low point right here of 2.754, and we're going to hope for a high point of pretty much 3 mil there, and then there is a margin of 60k tax, so even if we snag a couple, I think it'll be worth it in the end. There's only a buy limit of 4, so we're just going to go for 4 there, and then we're going to move on to our last flip, which is going to be dragon crossbows. All right, so we're looking at the last 24 hours. It looks like they're going up in price steadily, but I think we can still hope for a drop right here. I'm gonna go for this low point of 1.91, and then we're gonna hope for a high point of maybe around 1.237, and then the tax on this is gonna be 24k, and there's a pretty big buy limit of, I believe, 70 at a time. So we're going to buy a good bit of these. I don't have much money left, so we're just going to go buy for 15 of these, and then that is it. Now, some of my items I'm flipping already, and that's okay. These are another way you can find like in the moment active flips as well. But now I'm going to leave all of this and come back the next day. So right now it is 6/21/2025, and it is 5 o'clock. I will be back within pretty much 24 hours. We'll check in 5 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll see how this goes. All right, and here we are to show off those results. So the Occult, we got 24 of them for 450k. Turnaround sold for 485k when our goal was at 480. The cannonballs, we were hoping to sell for 220. We sold for 225. The dragon boots, we were hoping to sell for 199k. We sold for 205k each. The Zulrah scales, we sold for exactly what we wanted to, and we only got 2 of the flared trousers, and we sold them for an extra 200k each. So I'm going to show you the whole graph right here so you can see all of my earnings here. All right, so here we are. From just a simple overnight flip, just takes a couple minutes of work looking up what you want to buy. We made 800k after taxes on the D boots, 750k on the cannonballs, 618k on the occults, 600k on the Zulrah scales, and 225k on the flared trousers. So 14 to nearly 3 mil from just a couple overnight flips. Definitely could have done it without O7.GG. So if you're interested in trying out this flipping tool that I showcased throughout the entire video, go check out their beta now and get some early access before they fully roll out the program. And you can save my discount code down in the description. Thanks for watching.